This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have to pay for the machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid in the 50 years. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Charles and Darl, the movement dedicated to empowering men, uniting brothers, and building a strong coalition. This is more than just a conversation. It's a call to action. Join us as we uplift, support, and inspire men worldwide. Because together, we don't just talk, we lead. We grow, and we conquer. Are you ready to be part of the coalition? Let's dive in.
Welcome to Man Talk 133 with Shaw and Darrell. What's going on? He back, y'all. He made it back. He made it back, y'all.
Hey, what's up? What's up, bro? How y'all feeling, man? Yeah, I'm glad to be back too, bro. How y'all feeling?
Yeah, we good, dog. Tonight, man. Tonight, you know, there's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, dog. The world is changing fast. Are you ready for what's coming?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're gonna talk about tonight. You know, we're gonna be talking about what's changing your money, your family, your work, your mental health, and your future. We're gonna be talking about different topics tonight, man. We're just gonna bounce around because, you know, right now we got a lot of stuff going on in the world. That's there's a lot going on right now that's affecting people's money. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff, you know. I know the wars, you know.
Yeah,
think about
man.
this.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
There's a lot going on. So, you know, we're gonna be covering jobs, AI, food prices, loneliness, public health, climate, space, and more. Y'all stay tuned. You know, y'all check us out on all our platforms. mantalk133.com, Instagram, mantalk133, Facebook, us talking, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio. We all over. Y'all just check us out. Tap in with us, man, and y'all, you know, y'all see what we got going on. You know what I'm saying? I definitely see what we got going on.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we're gonna start with this. I'm gonna ask you this right here. What do you think about AI? You got a little delay, y'all.
It's wild, man. But you know, it's something that we gotta. It's wild, but it's something that, you know, we got to adapt to, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so realistic, man. Like they can make the fake look so real, man. So, but it's definitely something, you know, that, you know, we got to tap into, or the people that haven't tapped into it already. It's something that we definitely got to tap into.
See what happened is AI is changing work faster than people expected, right? So AI is actually one of the things that's taking people's jobs. Because now what you can take and you could just type something in, hey, create me a spreadsheet for this. Presto, it's done. Now you can have somebody in there, it take all day because they got to type, and they make a mistake, they got to back up, they got to type. All you got to do is tell AI, hey, put this in here and spit it out to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's even like authors, like you got people that's writing books. It's cutting people out of writing books. All you got to do is go to AI, hey, write me a book about XYZ. It'll write it. All you got to do is AI, create me a book cover for it. You upload your picture, they'll create you one. So they create the manuscript, they create the cover, everything for you. Everything. So in a way, like you said, it's kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you said, it ain't no longer a future conversation. This is something we gotta talk about right now. It's a right now conversation of how people gonna move with AI.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is what it's saying. Stanford's 2025 AI index says global private investment in generative AI hit 33.9 billion in 2024, up 18.7% from 2023, and 78% of organizations reported using AI in 2024 is up from 55% from the year before. So now we talking about 2025 numbers. Imagine what 2026 numbers are like.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for 1 second. You got me?
Say again.
I say, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. We got a slight delay, so it's kind of like, it's kind of like throwing me off a little bit, but we gonna work through it though. Yeah. So to our audience this week, we got a little delay with the StreamYard thing again, but we gonna work through it though. So kind of delay is kind of throwing me off a little bit. I can't really get a lot of your questions like I really want them, but it's gonna be all right though. We gonna work through it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so I gave the statistics about AI and the amount of money it generated, for people that's making, the investment in it hit 33.9 billion in 2024. Mm-hmm. So if it went up from 2023 to 18% in 2024, imagine what it is now in 2026. How much money people they invested in it.
Yeah, man, and that AI, man, it's so, like I said, man, you could tell that the numbers have gone up drastically, because it's like that's a lot of stuff, man. That's all you see is like AI, like a lot of AI videos, but it's a little bit of texture or either audio in there that you can decipher whether it's real or whether it's fake. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So those numbers have definitely gone up because you can, like I said, you can tell a lot of people that's using it. And then, like you said too, man, now people can, like say, they can write books just by using that AI stuff. Now, you really no longer have to use your mind like that.
Not at all. You just ask them to do it and they'll do it. You ain't got to do nothing. Just, can you create this? And they create it. You know what I mean? It ain't like you said, it has taken the brain work out of stuff. It's just like, it's so easy and when you do that, the World Economic Forum says that global labor market disruption could affect 22% of jobs by 2030, with 170 million new roles created and 92 million displaced, for a net gain of 78 million jobs, but only if you reskill. So basically that means that AI is coming in and disrupting the job market by a 22% by 2030 of all jobs going to be ran by AI.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
And I would venture to say it will probably be higher than that, because once people figure it out, AI makes things run easier, and they can get rid of 5 people and save $250,000 a year if they pay them $50,000 a piece. Guess what they're gonna do? Use AI.
Yep.
Pay $200 a month for AI to create everything. Done.
And just like a lot of these like robots, like the industry is using, but whether it's vehicles or in these industrial plants and stuff like that, what they're doing now, like I said, there are a lot of companies are using these robots, and what they're doing is eliminating the workforce, like you just said. And when they eliminate the workforce, they might take 1 or 2 people that's already been trained, come in as a mechanic. So if anything go down with their computer, they only just have to have that 1 or 2 people to troubleshoot or fix that computer to get it back up and running, versus, like you said, versus paying 10 people to work. They got rid of the 10 people and just pay 1 or 2 maintenance guys,
For real. Now think about this. This is what people don't understand. Now this same report says that nearly 40% of current skills are expected to change, and 63% of employers say the skills gap is their biggest barrier. Now think about that. If people don't think that AI won't take their job because they can, well, I ain't gonna take this because I'm a maintenance guy. I can screw. No. All they gotta do is train robots to do your job.
Yep.
And then, like you said, you got a fleet of robots that's doing this. You got 2 people that's behind the computer. If one of them go down, they go and type something in and fix. They back to running. Period.
Yep. Because
people don't think about that.
Yeah, because I've actually seen that done. They were doing it in the early stages before I retired. Like I said, they had the maintenance cages and stuff like that with the maintenance guys. Some of them were, like I said, regular maintenance guys, like bolt and screw guys or whatever you want to call them. But then they transitioned over to more of the technology side. They were taking classes, so they got both skills. They got the hands on with the nuts and bolts, and then they got the technology side, because they were sent to school and classes for it to deal with these new AI robots and all this stuff like that. So, they indispensable with you, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna always need those guys when, like you said, when the robots go down, these same guys can type in a code or whatever to get it running, and then if something else happened, they got the skills with the nuts and bolts to patch it back together.
Yep, for sure. So let me ask you this before we get to the break, right? Is AI making people more productive or more replaceable?
Oh, definitely more replaceable.
I would say so too. In some instances, is making people say, all right. In some instances, making people more. I would say it like this. It's probably a 70-30. 70 replaceable, 30% productive. Because think about it. Now, I don't need to find an author, or editor to edit nothing. So now what they do is sit down. AI is making them more productive doing it that way. And they talk about how many millionaires AI is looking to create just off of just using AI alone. And some people don't, like the older generation.
Right.
They got to get a grip, because if not, bro, they're going to be left behind with this AI thing. That's a fact.
Yep.
Because they said, well, I don't want to use AI, but they just don't know it's integrated in all the search engines. When you search and you see that little weird looking little circle thing up there, that's AI.
That's it.
And then when you realize it, you know what I'm saying? They really don't. They don't. Before we go to break, is AI helping, people at work or making them more nervous? What you think?
That's before the break or after.
You got you got about 30 seconds before the break.
Okay, real quick, I'll say 50-50, because it's some people that's gonna jump and leapfrog, and they gonna take their challenge. They love the AI. Then the other half, like the older ones, they trying to push out of the work industry anyway. They ain't gonna be able to adapt to it. So it's kind of making them a little nervous to get their 401ks and run with it.
I believe that. So, hey,
Yep.
we'll be right back after the break, y'all.
Yep.
Stats tell that each day, 22 veterans commit suicide due to PTSD. These stats shook us and urged us to do our part. After hours and hours of thinking, Beekeeping for Veterans was born. Beekeeping for Veterans combines beekeeping with mindfulness meditation. Why combine them? Here's why. Beekeeping causes positive rush of adrenaline while beekeeping. You have to be calm during it. You are mindful of your movements. Each week, a veteran will receive a mindful meditation to build emotional and mental skill sets. Mindfulness is a set of 3 attentional skills that work together: concentration, sensory clarity, and equanimity, mental calmness, composure, evenness of temper. Every time mindfulness is practiced, we build these skills. Beekeeping for Veterans not only helps veterans overcome emotional trauma, but also aids our environment, as without bees, there is no food. Come forward. The people who have supported your country now need your support.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man
Yes,
Talk
sir.
133
Yes, sir.
with Shaw and Daryl. So tonight we're talking about the world is changing fast. Are you ready
Yep.
for what's coming? Are y'all ready for what's coming? And before we went to the break, I asked you, is AI helping you at work or make you nervous? You said 50-50. So let me ask you this question. Coming
Okay.
out of the break, now, would you rather your child learn coding, communication, or a trade first?
That's a good one. I would say for me, I would probably say a trade because the coding and all this stuff is, I guess you can throw a little IT in there and all that stuff like that or whatever. There are good fields and stuff like that, but I think today is so competitive that you can lay off. Like you may get hired over here with a tech group. This tech group might lay you off like 6 months or a name change or something like that or whatever. But when you got that trade, you know what I'm saying? Like where there's like HVAC and stuff like that, you can kind of go on and create your own businesses. But it'll be interesting to hear what you got to say on that too. Because like I said, it is good, to push them, to get these higher education, the higher the education they can get, it's better. But like I said, man, a lot of these, tech savvy fields now, man, it's like they killing each other off pretty much. Hey, you got to be the survival of the fittest or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of like you. Is right now in the generation we in now, I will probably go coding because everybody learning how to code and how they gotta do something with computers. Even in a trade now, you gotta learn how to do some type of computer stuff just in case. Like, hey, computer down. Hey, we need Johnny to come up here and see if we can troubleshoot it before we get the IT people out here. And they learn a little bit of it. But you think about communication though, like, I mean, we're talking about like communication, like people that talk on the news, radio, all that stuff like that. That could be a good one too, because they always gonna need them to talk and run their mouth about some special weather or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm torn, and I'm like, I don't think you can go bad with either one. I don't think you can.
Yeah, no, I guess like you said, with the communication portion of it, I mean, like I said, that would be good too. Like I said, cause you always gonna need analysts or like I said, newscasters or whatever, anchors or whatever, and then plus, man, if you in good in communications, you can pretty much, set your own stuff up, and do it like, like a lot of, cause like a lot of some news anchors have left the actual news stations and got their own platforms.
Right online, on
Yep.
YouTube, or wherever they platform they're using. That's a
Yep.
fact. That's
Mhm.
a fact. But you know what's crazy is that, we were talking about this a little earlier about how technology is moving so fast.
Mhm.
But you think about the average worker that's on these assembly lines and stuff like that. They asked to catch up on foot while you got this technology on moving top speed.
Yep.
It's impossible for them to be able to learn because they don't offer classes for them. They don't, none of the stuff that they do. So how do you expect them to catch up when you got let's say a 10-year-old
Mhm.
and write you a whole code for a website, but you got somebody been working for 15, 20 years,
Mhm.
don't know what a code is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When you run into situations like that, like I said, I caught the back end of that kind of a situation. I've seen it, not happen to me personally, but I actually seen it. It's like when you got some new people come in, like you said, that's good with the technology or good with the coding and the computers and all the stuff like that. The people that maybe down here with the 15, 16 to 20 years of service, they'll tend to get left behind on the assembly line. It used to be like you can come up from the ground floor off the assembly line and move up into a position. But now they're bringing these new people in that's already, like you said, familiar with what you just named, the coding and all that. See, they kind of bringing them in. They may let them work on the floor for about 6 months, maybe, just for protocol. Then after, once they get that they check them out on the 6-month plan and see that it's like, okay, he kind of sharp. I'm gonna try to bring him on in the office and let him, and
that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, and then, and then, unfortunately, the older guys get left behind.
Yeah, for real. All right, so let's transition to this real quick. The global economy is steady on paper, but the pressure is real. On paper, the economy is the best in the world, dog. It's just top notch. It's just, and you know what I'm saying? You know what get people when they say that? They use these little catchphrases like our economy is resilient. You know what I'm saying? Saying the ones that ain't got to pay for no gas and they get free health care and all this other kind of stuff is resilient. But the bills for other people are heavy, dog. It's like, say, like, for example, right? In January 26th, the IMF projected global growth at 3.3 for 2026 and 3.2 for 2027. At the same time, the World Economic Forum warned that cost of living pressure and slower growth could displace 6 million jobs globally by 2030. Dude, that sound like it's resilient to you.
No.
Unless I don't know what resilient mean. I'm somebody.
No.
I'm just saying. Unless I don't know what resilient means. Resilient means like you don't give up. It's you all right.
Right.
Yeah. Now think about this. And now, because the current Middle East war shock, the IMF chief Christina Giovanni said the fund expects the demand for IMF support to raise by 250 to 20 to 50 billion. Why they're preparing for the downgrade its growth outlook. So they need 50 billion, but the growth outlook is going down. Like it's backwards. Like, if you ask them for that kind of money, it seems like it should be going. If they gonna need that amount of money, it seems like it should be going down. It's going the opposite. The economy. I'm gonna tell y'all something now. The economy shot. I don't know.
Yeah, go on give it to him, dog. It ain't no other way to sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? Just go and give it to him, bro.
It's shot.
It's shot. It's shot, dog.
Yeah, I mean, you talking about when I saw that I think it was in California, the gas was $9.99.
Man, I thought the 5 was bad here.
$9.99. Do you know what you can get for that? Like if $20 gonna get you 2 gallons,
bro.
If you got an SUV, you hurting.
Yeah. Or like you said, you know, but you got to, cause a lot of people got to burn that high octane now. You know, they got to use that 93.
Got to have it.
You know, so, and that's, like I said, that's where I'm at. You know, like we're here, it's 5 here. So you saying it's 9 in Cali? You know,
$9. I saw it on TV. $9.99 for premium. So the rest of it got to be probably 7 and then 6. You know, 6 for regular, 7 for then, you know, $9.99. Well, let me say $6.99, $7.99 to $9.99 probably somewhere in that area. Do you feel like the economy is improving where I'm asking them? Do y'all feel like the economy improving where y'all live? Because I stay in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I can go and tell you right there. Yo, you talking about, hey, bro, I think the homeless rate finna skyrocket again. That's what I think.
And if they come up here and say, yeah, you know they lying.
They definitely lying.
You know they lying, and you know who they with.
You ain't lying if you gonna tell me.
Yeah, cause all things, you know, anything that goes on with that situation, they down for it. Like I said, man, they'll go down with the ship. You know what I'm saying? Like knowing that this economy is sinking, it's sinking fast too.
Like the Titanic, they go down, they still playing. Doc.
Yeah,
still the band still playing, the ship go. Man, I'm jumping off that bug, Doc. Now, what's one bill you think folks struggle with most right now? You think it's the food, the rent, the gas, the insurance, the medical, the hour?
Bro, like
it's hard because all of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say all of it high. Like prescriptions, all of it high.
Think about that, dog. Food is high. Rent is, just think about it, because the food high, your rent might stay the same, but it makes it put strain on you because the food high and the gas high. So it puts a strain on the rent that you got to pay. So I'm ventured to say
there's
all of them.
But I do hear a lot of people, like I said, it's a multitude of things, everything, you know, all of it work together, but I do hear a lot of people complain about the utilities though.
Yeah.
The utilities, they done jack the utilities up to them, you know, they jacked them up really. Along with like you said, along with everything else. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing left behind. So but I do hear a lot of people complain about the utilities.
Yeah. That's definitely one, dog. And then that gas. Well, if you got if you went back in the day and got you one of them Escalades because you wanted to be cool and the gas was $1.50.
Yeah. And
now you got to put, even if you got to put regular in it, that's $4.
Yep.
So you drop 20 in it, you ain't going nowhere.
And then on the big end, you're gonna still lose on the big end, even if you put the regular 87 or whatever grade in there in an Escalade, you know, cause that demands the high octane 93 premium, and that's gonna affect you on the big end, because when you run that regular gas in an Escalade or them high power, you know, vehicles like that, you know, for a certain amount of time, I just said a certain amount of time, they gonna go to ticking.
Yeah, for real.
You know, and then you're gonna have to take it to the shop. They're gonna have to, you know, do whatever they do to it. And now, since you said that, I'm gonna throw that in there. When you take your vehicle to the maintenance, the dealership for maintenance or whatever, you know, that's gone up. All of it is up. They gonna hit you in the head. Oh, they'll tell you like $300-$400. That ain't nothing. You know, that's how they say it. Oh, it ain't gonna be but $250, $300 today.
Yeah, that's it. Like it ain't nothing. That's all. It ain't gonna be but $300.
Yeah,
but $300.
Bro, that's all you did was get your oil changed, your tires rotated, and you know, maybe an air filter change, wiper blades or something like that. Oh, it ain't but 300.
Ava 300. Hey, I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna get back. We're gonna come back after the break. Conflict is driving displacement and humanitarian pressure to record levels. We're gonna get into that right after the break, y'all.
All right.
It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandals' 16 all-inclusive, luxury included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back to Man Talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
133 with Shawl and Daryl. So before we went to the break, man, just for y'all, anybody just tuning in, the world is changing fast. Are you ready for what's coming? Now, before we went to the break, conflict is driving displacement and humanitarian pressure to record levels. Now, this is for people to understand. This is a serious segment on this one. Now, listen at this, bro. Listen at this.
All right, go ahead.
UNHCR says that 123.2 million people were forcibly displaced at the end of 2024. Now, by June 2025, that figure was still at about 117.3 million, including a huge number of people displaced inside their own country. Now, think about that. Where do you think them people are gonna try to go to? What do you think they going? What they gonna go?
Some of them, man, it's just, I mean, they're getting displaced. I mean, a lot of them try to, I guess they're gonna have to go to hotels. I mean, you know, it depends on where they're getting displaced from. They losing their homes, or if they losing their homes, some may be trying to go to apartments, or if they getting, you know, displaced out of their apartments, then back home, they ain't really, you know, it's, you know what I'm saying, is what it is. It's tough out there, man.
You think about this. The UNHCR's 2026 appeal says that the world could reach 136 million forcibly displaced and stateless people by the end of 2026. Now, I ain't want to go here.
Go ahead.
But I gotta go here, right? So,
okay.
If I gave you, let's say, 10 billion, right? And I said, hey, I'm gonna put you in charge of building, just buying land and building apartment complexes on it.
Okay.
Now, they'll say if the average apartment complex, say like 200, doors or whatever, it'll cost you 20 million with the land or whatever. Now, I can't give you the exact amount of how many we can buy, but I know it's a lot with 10 billion, right?
Right.
So why won't we do that here instead of wasting money on dropping bombs on so many billions a day on?
Design, man. They don't want to do it. It's design.
Think about that.
Man.
You got people sleeping on the bridges, right? You got veterans that's displaced and just out there.
Yep.
And the reason why they can't get, and I think Joel mentioned this like some time back, we did a show about it. He said the reason why they can't get the benefits they need because they only have addresses.
Right. Right.
So if you ain't got an address, where they gonna send your stuff to?
Yep.
You get where? Like they have nowhere to send the stuff to. So now they can't get the stuff. They homeless. They don't know what have they paperwork at. You go in there if you ain't got an ID, they gonna think you trying to scam them.
Right.
So how do people expect the veterans or anybody else to get help if they can't get the basic stuff?
Right.
It's like the ID.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel what you're saying, and I mean, I know you touched on what I'm getting ready to say. I mean, I don't know what the problem is because I mean they help everybody else.
Everybody else.
But it's the people that they helping. It's like it's the rich, and then like I said, everybody know this is the rich, and then there's everybody else. Because with these guys, they helping other countries and stuff like that. They helping them, like this president is helping, or all presidents or whatever. They helping other presidents and other people that's tied into the presidents, like the higher ups and stuff like that. Pretty much. Cause I mean, like you said, all the money they spend and dropping bombs over there on Iran or whatever. I don't want to hear nothing about no terrorists and all that. They been threatening to kill us for the last 100 years or whatever. I mean, they could take that money, man, and they can build up America the way they want to.
Exactly the way they want to.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you think about it. When you say, hey, we're not gonna, and we ain't taking to this kind of show, but I'm just saying, I gotta show y'all that the people that displaced and why they can't get the help that they need. If you don't have the basic stuff, if you go anywhere without an ID, they may, if you don't get out here, I'm gonna call the police on you. That's a fact. I'm not even playing.
You're right.
And if you don't have the money to buy probably $10, $12 ID, so you can get your veterans benefits, so you can get your health insurance, whatever you're gonna get right through the Affordable Health Care Act or Obamacare, whatever way they want to call it. If you can't get your paperwork set like that, how do you expect these people to get anywhere? That's why you got the displaced. These people are so displaced. You think about it. I mean, you can't get if they got having food banks, they can't drive, they ain't got no car. How they gonna get there and get it?
Right.
You can't depend on nobody else to pick it up and bring it to you. Because know what they're gonna do? Pick it up and take it home with them. They're gonna keep it.
Yeah, check this out. Like, give me, I know, like you said, it ain't this kind of show, but give me a guesstimation. Like, a guesstimation of a few of the bombs that they dropped over there. The price
about how much?
As far as price, yeah. Like, what is it? Give or take what? 20 billion?
It's in the billions.
Okay. But okay, you in Raleigh, right?
Yep.
All right. What's the bad side of Raleigh? Southeast?
Yeah, southeast. Yep. For sure. Definitely that.
Okay, so they take, let's say $1 billion. They take $1 billion and put it on a bomb to drop over there. But they can't take 5 to 10 million, maybe 20 million to put in Southeast Raleigh.
To rebuild it.
But Glenwood and all down them areas in 70 and Briar Creek, they're gonna be straight.
For sure.
What I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at the disconnect. Why can't you take that same amount of money that you blowing up people with and put it on that side of town of Raleigh so everybody can grow, everybody can look good? You know what I'm saying? It's like, the landmarks that's in every town in every state. When you get to a city, you see what this neighborhood is. Okay, we know where we at over here, but as soon as you cross the track, you know what that is over there too.
For sure. I definitely know. As soon as you hit over there by New Bern, and, and Traywick, and you start going down to some other little Raleigh Road and Raleigh Boulevard and all. Yeah, over there where Frank's and all that stuff is, and that little shopping center, you don't need to be playing around over there because you go downtown. It's crazy because it's like it's a pocket. And like you said, it wouldn't take much to go in and rebuild it. It's like a little pocket. If you can clear that pocket out, I would venture to say, if you give people a little bit of hope, they will probably take care of this stuff. But if you wake up and you look out the window
every day
and you looking at junk every day. Like, what do you think the people gonna produce, bro? Like, they gonna.
That's what it's gonna be, man. That's why I say it's by design.
I'm gonna tell you, dog, it's definitely by design, dog. So, at what point does a humanitarian crisis become everybody's problem? When you have anybody that's lacking food and the normal things that they need, that's when it becomes a problem. It ain't got to be a certain number. Not for me.
Right.
You got one person that ain't eating, or one person that ain't being taken care of. That's the point for me. That's a crisis for me. You know what I'm saying? I remember a true story. I remember when we were in real estate. You and I was doing real estate, and I was trying to put this deal together for to buy a whole block in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Buy a whole block, and so I'm talking to the guy. And he was saying the reason I was trying to buy the block because he was like, we got people that come to the shelter.
Yeah.
He said one time, man, I had to turn away an old lady or a grandma with her grandkids. He said, man, it was freezing outside. Well, when they hit a certain number, just can't let them in no matter what. He said, man, that thing tore me up to turn an old lady away with her grandkids. It's cold. Like, what they gonna do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Think about that. So one person for me is a crisis, if you ask me, you know what I'm saying?
And another crazy thing too is like, it's almost like when you doing the division, it's like they throw everything out with the trash.
Yeah.
They put everything with the trash. And what I mean by that, not calling the homeless people trash, but what I'm saying is, so nobody won't misquote me, it's like they really won't put a homeless shelter over on Cobb's Corner in Rocky Mount. Let's say Rocky Mount. You know what Cobb's Corner is, old Walmart, all the nice places where you eat and all that. See, they ain't putting a homeless shelter over there. You know where the homeless shelter is in Rocky Mount, how they got it. It's on that side over there by the track.
Yeah, down Atlantic Avenue and Grace and all that. And
it's all down there, over there on Peachtree or whatever, all through there. And you know how those landmarks look. You got old factory buildings and, that's been abandoned for years or whatever, and you kind of got stuff like that, man. Like they take the homeless shelter people and they just stick that over there, because they don't want to put it on this side over here where the new stuff at. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, that's what I mean. They kind of like, that's why I say it's the rich and then there's everybody else. It's kind of like, like you said, they turned the old lady away, right? It's kind of like they just threw her away with the trash.
100%. You know what's crazy about it? You kind of alluded to it earlier. People don't really understand what displacement means beyond just a number. So just think about this. If you put it in this context, if somebody gave somebody 100 and what was the numbers I gave you? 136 million. If I gave somebody $136 million, boy, they'd be like, there's a lot of money. It's generational wealth. I ain't got to do nothing.
Right.
But when I say 136 million people, it don't have the same hit. Right. Because it really don't affect them. Now, $136 million going to impact him and them and everybody around him. But when I say 136 million people, it's way beyond just the number. If you think about 136 million people, bro, that's like I'm trying to think of, that's a lot of people. That's kind of like California and some other, or Texas or somebody just put together, displaced. Just imagine all them people ain't got nowhere to go. And we take and put billions of dollars to drop bombs on somebody we supposed to have decimated 6 months ago. But now we dropping bombs on it, billions and billions of dollars a day. It's crazy to me.
The crazy part about it too is you blow them up and then you help rebuild them back up instead of rebuilding us over here. That's all we need. That's all we need is a little bit of cosmetic work. And we can be up the par, just like we was talking about over on Peachtree and all this stuff like that in Atlantic. Like, it shouldn't be no reason why that they shouldn't have adequate grocery stores and Walmarts and stuff on that side They got to come across the track to come over this side over here just to get adequate grocery and Walmart shopping and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of real estate on Peachtree side where they can do all that stuff, but they will not put money over there.
Yeah, we up against the break, y'all. It's just like beating your child and loving them after you beat them. They don't even they don't make no sense. We'll be right back after the break, y'all.
Stats tell that each day, 22 veterans commit suicide due to PTSD. These stats shook us and urged us to do our part. After hours and hours of thinking, Beekeeping for Veterans was born. Beekeeping for Veterans combines beekeeping with mindfulness meditation. Why combine them? Here's why. Beekeeping causes positive rush of adrenaline while beekeeping. You have to be calm during it. You are mindful of your movements. Each week, a veteran will receive a mindful meditation to build emotional and mental skill sets. Mindfulness is a set of 3 attentional skills that work together: concentration, sensory clarity, and equanimity, mental calmness, composure, evenness of temper. Every time mindfulness is practiced, we build these skills. Beekeeping for Veterans not only helps veterans overcome emotional trauma, but also aids our environment, as without bees, there is no food. Come forward. The people who have supported your country now need your support.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
to
Yes,
Man
sir.
Talk 133 with Charles and Daryl. So before we went to the break, we was talking about about 100 million, about 130. If I gave you 136 million, because people really don't understand what displacement means beyond just a number. It just means folk ain't got nowhere to go, nowhere to stay, nowhere, nothing. So that leads us into our next topic, which is hunger and food insecurity are one global shock away from getting much worse. Now think about this. Let me throw some numbers out there for the people that don't understand. All right. So the World Food Program says that 363 million people are at risk of acute hunger in 2026, including another 45 million people at risk because of the current Middle East conflict. Now, for the people that say that, that ain't affecting us, and that's this and that, I just read that the conflict over there, because the way the world is a global market, like we're in a global market. So when you cut off one part of the market, where they gonna get it from, bro? Like, if people really think about that for 1 second,
Right.
I'm gonna tell you out right now, because I know you got something to say, but I'm gonna say this right now.
Oh, you good? Go ahead, roll with it. We're gonna jump in.
I'm not willing to pay a higher price for somebody just to say somebody, hey, you're doing a good job when it's a bad job. I'm not gonna reward a bad job. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got all F's, so here go $100 for getting all F's. That's the stupidest thing ever. That's the same thing we're going on right now.
Right.
We got a bad child running office, and he doing crazy stuff that's running the bills up for everybody else, but people are applauding it.
Yep.
Makes no sense. I'm just being honest with y'all.
Yeah,
I just gave y'all some serious numbers.
Yeah, and I know, man, a lot of people always, they're probably talking like, I don't know why they keep talking about our president. He's doing a good job. No, he's not. They know that too, but they just got his jersey. They're just wearing his jersey, and that's their guy that they like, and that they don't care nothing about what's going on around them. They just care about their guy, their team. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly, and
that's what the problem is, man. But he's pretty much, man, running it just like he ran his companies, man. That's pretty much what it is, man. And for a lot of them will find out now that what they asked for, he ain't giving them what they asked for.
Let me say this, bro.
Yeah, he ain't running it like they thought he was gonna run this country.
let me say this: if the guy was doing a good job, I would say it. I'm just one of the ones. It's like, for example, let me say this. Now, his tax plan, because it's geared toward people with businesses and stuff like that, because that's what he's supposed to be, right? His tax plan is good if you have a business. Now, it's a really good business plan because you get all this stuff, you write out all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But as far as everything else, it's nonsense. Think about this. The WFP, which is the World Food Program, also notes that after 2022 Ukraine shock, global hunger reached 349 million people. And a current projections warn that the world could face similar or worse pressure if the conflict and supply chain disruption continues.
Right.
So if we keep the Middle East thing going, I don't care who in office. I don't care if people say Obama is their best president, or Bill Clinton the best president, or George W. Bush. If they keep going the way they're going, it's going to reach another 50 million people without food. It's just what it is.
Yeah, and I think, man, a lot of people, man, they all, I heard a lot of people say they love him because he say what's on his mind, and he do this or whatever. Yeah, it be some dumb stuff. Yeah, but I mean, if you're a Republican, I mean, and that's what you like, I mean, y'all could at least, like, I could be wrong, but y'all could at least put Mitt Romney in there. Somebody got some sense. Like, if he was, if you're a Republican person, you could at least put Mitt Romney or somebody, like, other than him. At least Mitt Romney ain't gonna run the country off the rails. I don't think he would. Not to that extent the way it's going now. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask the people this and say that, hey, if he say stuff, and that's just how he is. So if your child cuts you out, are you gonna say that's just how he is, or you gonna tighten up on him?
Right, exactly.
So which one is it? So your child cuts you out, that's just how he is. Don't do nothing to him. That's just how he is. Y'all know how he just get mad and cut everybody out in the house. He 5.
Yeah.
That ain't how that go.
They don't look at, see, when you explain it to them like this, see, they ain't looking at it like that.
Not at all. Now, let's talk about this, dog. This is how the war affects the people that are not on the battlefield. Fertilizer, shipping, fuel, food prices, and aid access. Now think about this. People that need to grow stuff, they can't even get fertilizer from over there because they need the LNG and LPG and all that stuff to make the fertilizer. So if they got the Strait of Hormuz blocked off and you can't get nothing through, how they gonna make fertilizer? Or how you gonna get the fuel prices down? Matter of fact, how you gonna get the fuel if you don't pay that? Them boys are set up. Them boys are set up there. They got the New Jersey Turnpike up there. That you come through here, you paying a toll.
It's crazy, man. I'm
just saying.
It's crazy, man. They just went in like that with no plan. Like,
None.
I mean, I'm talking about no plan at all. Just, we gonna just drop bombs and then we gonna just take over. It don't work like that, bro.
Nah, you gotta have a plan behind that, dog. So let me ask the people out here this. When the food prices rise, what do families cut first? I would venture to say probably, well, no, I can't say hospitality goes, when you go on vacation, you can't say hospitality because they definitely going on vacations, period.
Hey, they gonna go on vacation. Hey, look, they gonna drop them line dance song. Hey, you blowing up the other side of the world. And we still dancing.
And we still dancing.
Yeah.
So I would say, dude, that's a tough one. What do you think they cut first?
You said food prices are up too high. What would they cut first?
When food prices rise, what do families cut first? They definitely ain't entertainment. That's a fact.
I would probably say, somebody help me out in the comment section.
Yeah.
I would probably say they would probably cut, I would say medications.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I guess
trying
it
to-
depends. You know,
It depends if you really need it. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say something like they may cut out like,
maybe going out to dinner.
yeah, and hair
But
dudes.
yeah, but it, yeah,
Well, no,
yeah.
I ain't gonna, they ain't gonna do the hair dude.
No, we ain't gonna do that. Either. Somebody in the comment section, please help us out on this.
Yeah, I got it. I did. I don't know that one. dog.
Cause that is a good question that you posed though.
What they cut, dog. Do we treat hunger like an emergency when it reaches wealthy countries? No, we don't. Because when they got that money, when it reach a wealthy country, dog, like we a wealthy country, how we treating it? Let me ask that. Let me reverse engineer that question. We a wealthy country. How we treating it? How we treating hunger? We don't treat it
Nope.
at all.
Nope.
We don't treat homelessness, hunger, none of that.
Nope.
Think about that. They cutting SNAP,
Yep.
what is supposed to help people eat with. They cut
Yep.
it. So how, like, that's how we treat it. We cut it.
Children
That's
at children at school be hungry. That's
Lord, how
sometimes that's the only meal they get when they get to school.
right. The only two they get, breakfast and lunch.
Yeah. You know, like I forgot the breakfast because you know some of them may get to school a little late. You know what I'm saying? So, but most of the time, like I said, lunches are definite.
And you think about it, man. Let's just think for 1 second. This is what kind of turns some kids in some neighborhoods into what they are, because they gotta survive. They go into survival mode. They get home, they ain't got nothing to eat. The cabinet's empty. Old boy say, "Hey, you run this pack down the street, I give you 20 or 50 or whatever." He gonna run the pack because he hungry.
Easy money, all day.
Until you get caught, right? So that's just
Yep.
kind of like people. Well, I wonder why folks sell drugs, because you ain't in the house where you got to go open up the cupboard and the cabinets, the pantry ain't nothing in it. The refrigerator got a old jug of water in it. That's all they got. The freezer ain't got nothing. But you ever seen you had the defrost the freezer, got the big ice stuck in it. That's all they got in the freezer.
Right. And the ones that say that both of their parents, the ones that talk down on the ones that why they sell drugs or why they steal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The ones that saying that, you know, they come from a 2-parent household and both parents making at least $150,000 a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
For
more.
real.
You know what I'm saying? Or both parents making over 6 figures a year. They going to get to go on vacation every year, sometimes twice a year. They live in luxury, you know, luxurious, you know what I'm saying? So you got hungry kids when they get off, like you said, when they get off or get out of school, they're gonna run that pack. Or either they're gonna go to the store, if they go to the store with some of their friends and they hungry, they see all their food in there, they're gonna steal it.
They're gonna steal it, dog. I
Yep.
promise you they're gonna steal it. And you know, it's crazy how this quote is wild, but it's the truth. A bomb dropped in one region can end up on somebody else's dinner table as a higher grocery bill. Like what's going on right now. We talking about some dropped in Iran and all these other places, and it's causing everything over here to go up, especially the gas. The boys are not playing with that straight off our moves. You can run through there if you want to plan. Because somebody told you to go ahead. No, you got to go ahead on through. You got it. You go first, and then let me know how it works.
Right. You see, like I always tell people, I say, yeah, we the superpower, United States. We the superpower. And, you know, Iran, if they think Iran sat back and watched what we did to Iraq and Afghanistan and Venezuela, and you think that they won't prepared, they are prepared. It may look like we may be punishing them with the bombs, but when you get ready to go to the ground is what it's gonna be.
It's that, and that's what they're waiting on. They said, "Come on." They done like this. Come on.
Yeah, and it ain't nothing but for all the haters out there. You know, I'm against the United States. It ain't that. I know what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. Them folks ain't sit back and just like they saw how we did Iraq. They saw how we did Afghanistan. You think them people just gonna sit back with their legs crossed?
Not at all.
They been working the whole time that we've been in the Middle East.
They don't think them folk gonna sit back over there with their skirts and their turbans and let you.
Yeah, they've been prepping for this moment right here the whole time.
All time, y'all. Hey, before we get out of here, y'all check out all our platforms, man. mantalk133.com, Instagram, us talking, Instagram, mantalk133, Facebook, us talking, iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, all of y'all. Just check us out. Type us in, just behind us. Man Talk, MANTA, the number 1K133. Y'all check us out. Hey, look, thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, until next time, y'all, God bless, and we gone.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness, one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us, giving our veterans a voice. Let